Okay, so in Book 19, what did we learn about the importance of hospitality, even to beggars?
Well, in Book 19, you hear about Odysseus going to the palace in the form of a beggar. And then you read right here, Melethino lashed out at Odysseus. You still here, you pest, slinking around the house all night, leering up at the women. Get out, you tramp. Be glad of the food you got, or we'll sling a torch at you and rout you out at once. And then you hear Penelope hearing the maid and wheeling on the maid, tongue-lashed her smartly, saying, Make no mistake, you brazen, shameless bitch. None of your ugly work escapes me. You will pay for it with your life, you will. How well you knew, you heard from my own lips, that I meant to probe this stranger in our house and ask about my husband. Then you hear her more kind side, saying, She turned to her housekeeper, you're a no-name, and said, Now bring us a chair and spread it with soft fleece, so our guest can sit and tell me his whole story, and hear me out as well. I'd like to ask him questions point by point.
So, the maids don't respect him as a beggar, but Penelope does because she finds some use of him, because he might have been the last person that saw Odysseus.
But the part you wonder about is that if he wasn't, if he didn't know Odysseus, would he still be of importance to her? Because you hear, now my life is torment, and she yearns for Odysseus.
Yeah, but she also, she doesn't like the suitors or really trust the maids anymore. So she, wants someone that isn't either of them and is just there.
So that leads to Telemachus and a beggar.
So he's more of a friend than, anything right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, do you know anything? And he does, and it's just, awesome.
Well, I mean, their common ground is pretty much Odysseus.
That's kind of it. But that's what her world is. Odysseus is her world.
Oh, that's a cute little love story going on there. Where's the next question? How do we see Penelope's own intelligence and crafty mind in this chapter?
The weaving and the
trial. Definitely the trial.
Okay, well, let's see.
It says, So by day I'd weave at my great and growing web. By night I would unravel all I'd done. 3 whole years I deceived them blind. And then, so she could have kept on going with it longer than 3 years.
But the maid that was having an affair with one of the suitors told them.
Yeah,
and they found out.
Then when the wheeling seasons brought the 4th year on, thanks to my maids, the suitors caught me in the act.
Well, then you also read about the trial that says, Now I will bring them on as a trial for my suitors. The hand that can string the bow with the greatest ease, and that can shoot an arrow clean through all 12 axes, he is the man I follow, yes. Forsaking this house where I was once a bride, this gracious house so filled with the best that life can offer, I shall always remember it, that I will know even in my dreams. So she still wants to pretend that Odysseus is in it, but she has to move on because she made that promise to him.
And she knows that only Odysseus can do the trial.
So I guess it's kind of like a way of saying, well, if you can't do this, then
you're not good enough.
You're not good enough to be my husband.
You're not as good enough as the old king. And she knows that they're not going to be able to, and they're going to turn on her at some point.
And just probably kill Telemachus and take the land by force.
Yeah, and make her choose one of them. Because she's not going to have anything left if Telemachus is gone.
Exactly.
So she's just coming up with all these ways so that she can stay single.
Pretty much.
Well, not really single. She's
not really single. She still believes that she is, the wife of Odysseus.
Well, yeah, she's the only one that thinks that Odysseus is trying to come back. Everybody else thinks
but
that. Or having an affair with somebody in, some faraway
She did say, when she was talking to the beggar, she said that, where is it? It's when they're having the conversation about how the beggar is the last one that saw Odysseus, and she's saying how, now much I pitied you before, and now in my house you will be my special friend. She finds use of him because he's the last one that saw him, Odysseus. But she knows in the end that he's not coming back. Well, that's what she thinks, because he's been gone for 20 years. and so many like options are running through her head about like what had happened, and she just doesn't know what to do.
And Telemachus is growing a beard pretty soon, so
He already has a beard.
he does.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Mhm.
Don't listen to me. I lied.
Okay.
So he's trying to do like whatever it takes to make her feel good about herself, which is like the last question. What clues do you have about Odysseus' emotional state at this point? He is so many mixed emotions are going on with him right now.
From the beginning from the beginning of this book to the end, you pretty much read every possible emotion there I think could possibly be imaginable. I mean, you first have like anger towards his own maids, treating with such disrespect, and how they mistreated his wife by telling the suitors, oh, well, she's actually been doing this for 4 years. She hasn't been done. She unravels it at night. Going from anger to the maids, then from loving to seeing his wife, then pure sadness, saying that she now has to move on and that she has not done anything and she feels that he is either dead or somewhere else.
And he doesn't want her anymore. That's what's going on through her head. All these different like scenarios.
And not just with Penelope. It says Odysseus's right hand shot out, clutching the nurse's throat, and muttered, "You want to kill me? I'm home after bearing 20 years of brutal hardship, but now you know, quiet, or else I will not spare you when I kill the other women in my house."
So it's not just Penelope, it's his maid, because when the maid found out that he was Odysseus by the scar...
But it's not a maid, it's his nurse. There's a complete difference. Because the maids, like every single one of the maids, are treating him terribly, and his nurse is the only one.
That's because Penelope sent him.
Yeah,
because sent the maid.
Yes, but she's still faithful to Penelope and Odysseus, because that's like his second mother, as you were saying before. So, like...
He's like we said before, he's got so many emotions. Like...
Just imagine the surprise he found out that he felt when his maid figured out it was him. That's why...
And everything would have like...
clutched her throat.
Yeah, like everything. If she'd said one word about it, all the suitors would have tried to kill him.
Then
and
Penelope...
and then
they would have
Telemachus.
And
they would have just taken everything.
Yeah.
So, like, he just was on edge about everything. And it was crazy. He was...
Love is crazy.
That was an interesting chapter.
Yeah. So, he was... Words can't really describe.
All the emotions.
Like, not even mixed emotions. It was just, like...
all of them.
Yeah, give them a list of emotions and you check all of the
You could check them all off in this chapter.
Yeah, they're just everywhere.
Woo!
Oh, candy.